This is the Sigma contemporary lens 18 to 50mm lens for the RF mount. Since its release back in 2021, this lens has been an absolute APS-C sensor workhorse for the Panasonic and Leica L mount, and of course the Sony E mount. But will this lens be your kit lens replacement on your Canon R50? How well does it work in low light with its constant f2.8 aperture? And is this lens everything that it is hyped up to be? Is this the kit lens replacement for your Canon R50? If you're new here, I'm Darren, I'm Creator61, and I love APS-C sensor cameras. I love my Canon R50 and I love the Sony ZV-E10. And really opening up the opportunities that additional lenses can provide for these cameras. Once you move away from the kit lens, you have a whole plethora of shooting opportunities available with lenses on your APS-C sensor cameras. While this lens is lightweight, it is not light on quality, coming in at 290 grams. There is some plastic construction here, but Sigma have also included a quality brass bayonet mount, and if you look really closely, there is weather sealing on this lens as well to keep out the dust and the moisture. There are 13 elements in 10 groups in this lens, and it comes with an additional petal lens hood, so there's nothing else to buy. Well, apart from filters. So what we're talking about filters, the filter size for this lens is 55mm. The lens minimizes ghosting and flaring and has a 7-bladed rounded diaphragm. The Sigma 18 to 50mm lens was originally released to the Sony E mount and the Panasonic and Leica L mounts back in 2021. Interestingly, my copy here has 021 stamped on the bottom, so I'm wondering if this is old stock that has been adapted to the Canon RF mount. I'm not sure, but it's an interesting observation nonetheless. Affordably priced and ties into Sigma's driving principle for providing fabulous lenses for as many people as possible. This is an APS-C only lens. Even though you could put it onto a full frame camera, you would get significant, and I mean tunnel vision, if put onto a full frame sensor. This will not work on a full frame sensor camera. Focus on this lens is all internal. So what does that mean? It means that the lens does not change dimensions when you're changing focus. The only time the lens changes dimensions is when you're changing its focal length from 18 to 50mm. And this lens is suitable for video with its fast focus and nearly silent STM motors. I've just set both the cameras up to take video of this boat going past. The ZV-E10 and the Canon R50. And they both have Sigma's 18 to 50mm f2 lens on there. The Sigma on the R50 seems to crop in just a little bit tighter than it does on the ZV-E10. Maybe I've got some setting changed in there with either camera, I'm not exactly sure. But on initial use, it seems to be that the ZV-E10 has a slightly wider angle of view than the Canon R50's narrow view. But nonetheless, a fantastic lens on either of these cameras. And the Sigma lens has a comparable focal length to that of the Canon kit lens and the Sony ZV-E10 or similar kit lens. It is a faster lens with its constant f2.8 aperture, so it will be better in low light performance than either of those kit lenses. The Sigma lens has no optical image stabilization in the lens whatsoever, so you are going to need a gimbal, a tripod or a monopod, or some kind of stabilization in post-production. The lens displays fast, accurate focus, and a blurred background is quite achievable. See, blurred background here is quite achievable with the fast aperture. Plus, this lens and focal range is suitable for a wide variety of shooting situations. And currently, at the time of making this video, this lens retails for around $500 to $600. Around $529 for the Sony E mount and around $589 for the new Canon RF mount. I'll leave links down below for the pricing that I've been able to find. This lens is perfectly engineered for APS-C sensor cameras, and it looks great on any camera, including the R50. You could also use this on the R100 or other APS-C sensor cameras. Now, when shooting with the Sony ZV-E10 and the Canon R50, both with these lenses, I did notice a slight magnification difference with the Canon R50. I'm not sure if this is because of the distance between the lens and the sensor or a setting in the camera. And finally, this lens is available on the Canon RF mount. Since 2021, this has been available on the Sony E mount and the Panasonic and Leica L mounts. And now we understand what all the fuss is about. It's a great little lens, and definitely a lens to consider if you're looking to get a better quality to get out of that kit lens focal range with its constant f2.8 aperture. And another great lens on the RF mount is an adapted Helios 44-2 with its unique swirly bokeh patterns. That is a manual lens, and it looks fantastic on the Canon R50 and also other APS-C sensor cameras.